Got a sea turtle. This is a reproduction, of course. So you can make time for turtles. And turtle track. Got living shorelines. Got sharks and rays of Mobile Bay.
Mobile Bay is an estuary, a place where fresh water from rivers and salt water from the sea meet and mix. Along its edge is a fringe of marshes and estuaries where small animals can find food, and crabs, shrimp,
Estuaries.
oysters, and many kinds of fish are dependent on estuaries for habitat. You can use the
Watersheds.
Look in the basin for oyster shells. Oysters stick to
Lots of information along the boardwalk. Alright, weather the weather. Got research on marsh restoration at Dauphin Island Sea Lab. So the Barrier Islands are shaped by wind and water. These are the wetland birds that you would see in this area. Alabama's coastal connection. And where am I? Well, they're at Dauphin Island. See the platform out in the bay, operated by ExxonMobil. That's this right here. And life in a salt marsh, a real partnership. See, marine debris is a silent killer. See, timeline, all the different debris. The sea turtles are very susceptible. And six-pack rings are a real killer. I don't get products with these plastic rings much anymore, but when I do, I always make sure I cut all the rings up. So if they do end up from the trash into the water somehow, they're not going to entangle some animal. These are the butterflies at Dauphin Island. You see all the seagulls lined up along the rock here. And a pelican. These are scavenger birds, very opportunistic. Off in the distance, another oil platform. Alright, this is the entrance to the public aquarium. Hey everybody, Tom here for Tom's Road Trip, and I'm in Dauphin Island, Alabama. And today I'm going to be visiting the Dauphin Island Sea Lab Estuarium. This is a real working sea lab, and they do have a public aquarium on the premises. That is the estuarium. That's what I'll be visiting today. Face masks are required. I took it off temporarily so I can do my intro. I just got my hat. If you are not familiar with my channel, or even familiar with my channel, you know I always get a hat all the places I go to. Nice cheap souvenir. This one was $15 plus tax, which is pretty decent price. I got my entry ticket. Entrance for me was $12. $10 for seniors, and I think it's $8 for children. So I'm excited to be here. Let's get started. You see pricing. This is nice. Not nice for a turtle, of course. There's their map of their campus. You got the World of Water.
Welcome to the estuarium at Dauphin Island Sea Lab. dedicated, as reflected in this presentation, to a world of water. Water. It's the key to life. Its abundance distinguishes our world from all others that we know. But the so-called blue planet is only 1/10 of 1% water, with a thin layer of mostly salt water covering over 70% of the surface of the Earth. 200 million years ago, the North American continent began to separate from the original supercontinent. An ongoing process, this continental drift gave us the Atlantic Ocean. 20,000 years ago, when the North American ice caps melted, sea level rose, creating one of the largest estuaries on the continent, the Mobile Bay Estuary. Water. The Alabama coast is blessed with an abundance of it. Mobile has one of the highest annual rainfall averages of any metropolitan area in the United States, over 65 inches. Rain comes frequently and oftentimes abruptly to the Mobile-Tensaw River Delta, a national natural landmark of almost 400 square miles. Precious water arrives at the interface of life, later joining the surface waters. Here, it begins the journey from the delta, through the bay, and finally to the Gulf of Mexico. Soil, water, plants and animals, including humans, are intimately intertwined within the delta, driving the enormous food web of the entire Mobile Bay system and tremendously adding to the life cycle in the Gulf of Mexico as well. The soils and vegetation of the delta are not only parts of the food factory, but also filter enormous amounts of dirt, fertilizers, and organic material that enters the 43,000 plus square mile watershed and ends up in Mobile Bay. This filtration partially cleanses the precious water for thousands of forms of life that live in the Bay Area. The animal kingdom ranges from multitudes of insects, an amazing diversity of species, ancient predators, and a history of human occupation that reaches back probably 6,000 years and includes the last historic battle of the Civil War. And since then, the Delta has provided wood, water, transportation, and wastewater assimilation for a variety of timber, textile, chemical, and paper interests. It also provides recreation for generations of hunters and fishermen. The Delta protects us with flood control and stormwater retention for much of the metropolitan area of the city of Mobile, population 194,000. Its resources also help provide for a tradition of shipbuilding that began with wood and flourishes today. The water travels south from the delta and enters Mobile Bay below the causeway, connecting the eastern and western shores. The bay is a broad, relatively shallow estuary, averaging only 10 feet in depth and stretching approximately 32 miles from the delta to the Gulf. Dredging maintains a 55-foot ship channel, dividing the bay along the north-south axis, and provides deep water access between the Gulf of Mexico and the fourth largest port in the Gulf, the Port of Mobile. The Mobile Ship Channel is marked by Middle Bay Light, which was built in 1873. Enlarging and deepening the channel yielded material that became Gale Yard Island, home to thousands of previously endangered pelicans and other bird species. Sport fishermen fly bay waters for speckled trout, redfish, and flounder. The bay also yields an impressively rich bounty of shrimp, crab, and oysters. Local fisheries are estimated at over $1.2 billion annually from both commercial and recreational uses. That abundance of seafood is also appreciated by one of the bay's most popular inhabitants, the bottlenose dolphin. Mobile Bay provides a beautiful backdrop as residential development lines both sides of the bay, providing water access to a rich recreational boating industry for both power and safety. Mobile Bay and the Gulf of Mexico provide another extremely valuable resource, drawn from over 20,000 feet below the bay: natural gas. Although not renewable like living resources of the bay, natural gas is estimated to be worth $18 million annually for the next 20 years. Falling tides and the river drive the water south through the mouth of Mobile Bay between Dauphin Island and the Fort Morgan Peninsula, the site of the Battle of Mobile Bay, fought in the summer of 1864 during the Civil War. The 17-mile-long Dauphin Island offers a dynamic blend of habitats: marsh, maritime forest, and a dramatic beach and dune system, which are all interwoven in a mutually dependent system unsurpassed in beauty and complexity. This barrier island initiates the chain of islands that define Mississippi Sound and protect the mainland from storms, while temporarily trapping precious fresh water and the natural nutrients. This estuary is so productive that fishery scientists have labeled the north-central Gulf of Mexico the Fertile Crescent. Just offshore, on the ebb tidal delta, the water passes the historic landmark of the bay, Sand Island Lighthouse, constructed in 1873. Fossil oyster reefs of bygone geological time now support lush, soft coral growth and add to the extensive artificial reef complex that the state of Alabama has constructed, yielding one of the highest levels of reef fish catch in the nation, all sustained by the water of the natural cycle. Mobile Bay is the heart of this watery world. As the sun rises over the bay, a new day is dawning on coastal Alabama, one in which the rich life that we enjoy and the economic growth of the area can be sustained through proper planning, concern, and caring by each of us.
Cool. Right up in the delta. Alright, we got Mobile Delta. Alright, cypress swamp. That's what we're going to see in this habitat. Little turtles. The turtles got more space that they can move around. You see a guy on a piece of wood. This is a nice looking turtle. Look at that. Look how long his neck is. And the guy in the far left hand side of the habitat. This is called shallow tributary. This is what we're going to see in this. Turtles. Information about the birds of the Delta. This tank's called terrestrial. What we're going to see in here. See some snakeskin hanging down. There's one of the snakes right here. Alright, so looking around, the only snake I see is the banded water snake. Got secret creatures. There's going to be a lot of reading on this visit for you guys. There's signage all over. Alright, this tank is amphibians. Got bog plants. Quiet paradise. Banking on trees. Deep tributary. We've got an alligator snapping turtle. And it's this guy. I've seen these guys in plenty of other aquariums, both much larger and also a lot smaller. Believe it or not, this guy's on the smaller side. Alien species. It's called invasive species. See why these fish look pretty. They're invasive. Then the shells, and snails. Even proven tree frog, which I do not see. Alright, the king of the Delta. Will be the old alligator. see an alligator. Alright, alligator. I was looking for the alligator. Alligator's in the back. They're behind these little pumps. You can see his little tail underwater. You see his tail. It's an alligator gar skull. Alright, next up, rays of the bay. So we are outside in this pool here. Currently, touching is not allowed. So you want to be touched. You want to be petted, because that's what they're used to. But for now, for the safety of the animals, no touching. Just the rays of the bay. And sharks. We got shark research at Dauphin Island Sea Lab. It's so nice the way they just glide across the water. Alright, windows of the sea. Here's what I'm talking about. The green mushroom coral. The orange clownfish. Got pulse coral. Green star polyp. Pink finger leather coral. But this is really nice. There is the clownfish. Can't have coral without clownfish in here. Oh, he's behind everything now. But this is all real live coral. Clownfish is at the back. There we go. There's crawfish. There's crawfish or crayfish, just depending on where you're from, determines how you pronounce it, crawfish or crayfish. Got this tank, ancient forest, ancient cypress stump, fish here, looks like a lionfish. Oh man, we got this tank here. The windows of the sea. Hawaiian reef fish. Yellow tang. I got butterfly fish. I only mentioned 2 types of fish. So I don't know enough about the different types of fish to tell you if they are all the same type of species, just different colorations. I got this tank here. This is Mobile Bay. This is what we're gonna see. fish. Cute little puffer. Hey, Riches. And Jubilee. Right here, next up, it's a salt marsh. And that is a really cute turtle. One's called a brackish marsh. Now the fish has tanker towards the back. The oyster reef. This is what is in this tank. Lots of oysters. I don't personally care for oysters. I like them as a species, absolutely. Just for dinner, I'm not a fan. To this tank. Here's and bulkheads. Air pressure, the prominent piers and bulkheads. See the Gulf marsh snake. Diamondback terrapin is just relaxing. this tank. Called seagrasses. There's a line seahorse. There's all the baby seahorse. It's a seahorse nursery. You can see the pipefish. The green sea urchin. Another one back here. Another pipefish in the back. It's a piece of ancient bald cypress. Cross section of it. It's all about it. Alright, next up, Barrier Islands. Fertile Crescent. Remember I mentioned early on, lots of reading. And hurricane. Dauphin Island itself is very susceptible to hurricanes. It tells you the different wind gusts or the scale of them. Protecting sandcastles. Almost all the houses that I've seen so far, my drive over here, once I got to Dauphin Island, everything is on stilts because it is prone to flooding and storm surge. And restless ribbons. Alright, this tank here, called salt ponds. That's a good sized greater blue crab. All the fish in here. It's called the surf zone. A lot of these fish are very reflective. We got a terrarium, maritime forest. What we got? It's called a southern toad, and the eastern box turtle. Some of the froggies. Some sea turtle skeletons. It's a reproduction of a sea turtle nest. Ocean today.
This helps produce high-resolution maps of the seafloor as deep as 8,000 meters, creating 3D images.
Alright, we got this big tank. The Gulf of Mexico is what we will see in here. nurse shark. Red snapper. A porcupine fish. It's called red leg. And we'll see. A multitude of sea creatures. Long-nosed batfish are on the bottom. So some of the fish use these little crevices as a habitat for their safety. Alright, rigs to reefs. This tank here got octopus. There is our Atlantic octopus. Got this tank called Natural Reef. The white spotted filefish is very easy to notice. A cute little balloon fish. Some cute fish in here. There's a spotted scorpion fish. Orange spotted filefish. So tontate. Soft intelligence. And hard shell. Lobsters. It's an Atlantic sea nettle. Alright, graceful gems, jellyfish in the Gulf of Mexico. Got gulfweed. It's called sargassum. The majority of the fish are along the top part. Now that is a cute fish. Little guy hanging out down below. There we go. Let's look at these fish. We've got artificial reef. An Atlantic Creole fish. With a short big eye. Aptly named. He's got the big eyes. There's a spiny cheek soldier fish. There's a common spider crab. Some warty anemone in there. And bearded fireworm. This guy here. It's called a bar-eye hermit crab. Got underwater exploration. Creatures from the deep. And speaking of invasive species, red lionfish and spotted scorpionfish. It's got ocellated moray and pencil urchin. The white lionfish are really cool to look at. They are an invasive species to the Atlantic. They're native to the Pacific Ocean. You've got the ocellated moray sticking his head out. Trying to see a little bit more of them. This is the bottlenose dolphin skeleton. And a pygmy sperm whale. This is a drifter. This is what a drifter is. This is diving technology. Of course, it's come a long way. Deepwater Horizon and a Mikado oil well disaster. I definitely remember this. Cleaning up the spill. Some of the graduate students. Skeleton of a tarpon. Alright, they do have a gift shop. Do not have to exit through the gift shop, but it is here if you would like it. This is where I got my hat when I first got here.
Feeding the fish and the keep like with the power and all that kind of stuff. I mean, anything that the estuaries don't make, like in the springtime where they're dead, so the lab keeps
A whole bunch of different shirts.
I get the money from the lab anyway.
Alright, so I am outside so I can take my mask off. I'm on the boardwalk area that I showed you guys before we went in. Now, something you should know about the estuarium at the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. This is more of an educational experience than it is for a typical aquarium that I normally visit. I wanted to come here because I care about conservation. I care about the environment. We only have one planet. So this place here gave me lots of information about what we can do as humans to help protect our planet, specifically the waterways. Our planet is mostly water. Majority of it is unexplored. But the sea life that we do know about, we can help protect them through education. Things you learn to do differently because you know how it harms sea life. So anyway, if you like what you saw, give my video a thumbs up. Lets me know that you enjoyed what you saw. Helps the algorithms of YouTube show my video more. That helps my channel to grow. That enables me in turn to visit more places. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Upload new videos every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Leave some comments down below, comments, questions. I always answer people. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.